Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown review for the uh, SmackDown version on the 28th of November. I'm sorry, 28th of May, 2021. Not a bad show, but I hope AEW is better because this is still a subpar show. We open with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. He approaches the Usos in the locker room. He asks about their plans and their end goal. Jimmy said their end goal is winning the tag team titles. He also pointed out that, in fact, this they would be champions sooner rather than later. Uh, Jay seemed uneasy about standing between the two of them. Reigns wishes them luck, and Jimmy walks off feeling excited. Reigns turns to Jay and tells him he's going to need it. Um, he then asks if Jay speaks for him. Jay promised Reigns that he would be with him. Reigns tells Jay to tell his brother that this is an issue. Eventually, I assume this is leading to the Usos going at it against each other, which could be good. Street Profits make their way to the ring. Montez Ford says tonight is Clash of the Titans. He then notes that he felt flattered that the Usos chose them for their first match back. Talked about Usos' entrance early in their careers, imitated the Usos during that entrance. Ford admits to facing different Usos tonight than they've ever faced before. Usos music hit and they walk out. Jimmy goes down the history of their past success and uh, multi-tag team championship reigns. Jay yells at them not to talk about reigns, and he pointed to his Instagram that this is dream match. He welcomed them to their nightmare. Usos promised to win and focus on the tag titles. Dawkins pointed out that they're not a stepping stone. There's a face-off between the two. Not a bad opening segment. Not really. I mean, I don't know that people care about the Usos as much as people think they do. But anyway, um, Usos and Street Profits do have a decent match. Pace picks up after the first few minutes. Michael Cole and Pat McCaffrey discuss Usos having ring rust after being away, after um, Jimmy being away for probably over a year. Heyman's watching the match in the back. Street Profits have an early advantage. Dawkins drops forward onto Jimmy for near fall. Usos regroups. Jay tags in. Ford avoids contact with some backflips. Makes fun of Jay. Jay charges him, and he gets taken down with an arm drag. Dawkins slows the pace, works over the arm of Jay. Jimmy then tags in, has a short-term advantage. Street Profits come back. They send the Usos to the floor. Um, Usos get tossed into the announce table in the barricade because that happens in every match these days. Back from the break, Jay drags Ford under the bottom rope, throws him into the barricade. Usos are firmly in control. They isolate Ford, cut him off from his corner. Ford then tries fighting back. Jay applies a sliding chin lock. Ford then comes back and catches Jay with an enziguri, sends him to the floor. Jimmy prevents Ford from making the tag. Ford hits Jimmy with an enziguri of his own. Overuse of enziguri here. Ford attempts a tag, but Jay pulls Dawkins off the apron, and then there's a Samoan drop on Jay for the near fall. Go to another break because we don't know how to time our matches. Jay attempts a superplex. Ford fights back. Jay knocks Ford off the apron. Ford recovers and leaps off the top. Jay avoids this and they collide in the middle of the ring. Kind of a double down spot. Dawkins gets a hot tag, goes nuts. Jay's climbing to the top. Dawkins cuts him off. Ford runs across the ring and dove over the corner at ringside. Would have been useful if they had I don't know, series of matches to build up to a spot like that. Dawkins recovers and hits a twisting neckbreaker on Jimmy for a near fall. Dawkins then catches Jimmy with a spine buster. Ford goes for the frog splash. Jay pulls Jimmy out of the way. Dawkins goes after Jay at ringside. Jay hits a super kick for the win. Really good match, but they did way too much, especially to start the feud off. Interviewer Megan interviews Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They admit that their plan for WrestleMania Backlash was floored. Roode said tonight's going to be different. Ziggler promised they would win the tag team championships later. I'd forgotten they'd lost them, so that shows how important that is. Speaking of unimportant segments, the women's tag team champions Natalya and Tamina defeat the Riot Squad. Match is short. Match starts at commercial break. Only champions get a ring entrance because, well, I guess the challengers really don't matter. Riot Squad's in control. We come back. They isolate Natalya, cut her off from her corner. Riot Squad jumped Tamina before the match, but we don't know this because we didn't actually see it. Michael Cole waits a little too long to bother telling anybody. Riot attempts a pin. Tamina jumps back into the ring, tags in, goes nuts on the heels. Tamina goes for the superfly splash, but gets cut off. Morgan counters Natalya with a discus clothesline. Tamina knocks Riot off with a headbutt. She then hits the superfly splash for the win. Mercifully, this was short, but it's a waste of television time. The Usos are in the back. They approach Adam Pearce. They request to face the winners of tonight's tag team title match next week. Pearce agrees to this. Usos celebrate. Anyway, SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair defeats Carmella. Fine enough match, although I think this is a waste of the momentum that Belair should have had. Giving her a better challenger would have been a good idea. Kayla interviews Carmella. She promises to beat Belair and end the fairy tale that she's in the middle of. Bayley joins Colin McCaffrey and is awesome on commentary. She keeps yelling at Belair and the fact that she cheats using her hair to win. Carmella has a short-term advantage. Belair fights back. They brawl around ringside because everyone does. Carmella grabs Belair by the hair and drops her onto the apron. Carmella slows down the pace of the match with the chinlock of doom. Then Belair fights back with a backbreaker, follows up with a shoulder tackle. This offense is weak for what it's meant to be. Carmella hits a crossbody block off the top rope. Belair rolls through and hits a follow-away slam. Impressive power by anybody in that position. Belair misses a charge in the corner. Goes shoulder first into the post. Carmella catches Belair with a super kick. And Carmella goes for the code of silence. But Belair avoids it. Belair hits KOD for the win. Cole says that Belloc wins. I don't even know. Anyway, Bayley then starts yelling. And then Bayley stands up on the announce table and laughs at Belair. Tag team champions Rey and Dominic Mysterio discuss winning the tag team championship and what it means to them, promises to retain, and Rey tells his son that he's proud of him. Aw, isn't that so cute? Anyway, they aired a SummerSlam commercial with the date of August 21st, 2021. We don't know where it is yet, but there's talk of it being in Vegas, among other places. Seth Rollins comes out for his segments. He is coming out in green and purple suit, so apparently he was dressed by someone who was colorblind. He demands that Cesaro come out so they can finish their issue. Rollins says that Cesaro isn't there because of what happened last week. And then Rollins says it's his birthday. He apologizes for not being able to join the festivities of his birthday. They pipe in chants insulting insulting Rollins. And then this whole segment drags. He said he blacked out last week. Rollins looking over Cesaro on the stretcher. He has a serious tone when he says fans deserve some blame for this. Rollins blamed the fans for supporting Cesaro. He sings happy birthday to himself, and it was way too long. Non-title match, Kevin Owens defeats Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz via DQ. Short match, no real time behind it. Cole basically says that Owens could earn a title shot if he wins. Owens jumps the champion at the bell. He hits the cannonball in the corner. Owens follows up with a swanton for a near fall that absolutely no one cares about. Cruz then jumps off the top. Owens avoids it, hits a super kick. Super kick's popular on every show these days. Cruz avoids pop-up powerbomb. Owens hits a stunner. Aziz jumps in, hits the Nigerian nail on Owens for disqualification. Owens is the winner, but says that Cruz is still the champion, so Cruz basically has a heater. Roman Reigns speaks to Jey Uso in the back. Uso asks if Jey really wants to shut up tag team titles. He tries to convince Jey to stick with him. Roman calls him main event Jey. He points out that with Jimmy back, he's in the opening match. Reigns notes a lot's changed for Jey. And while Jimmy was injured, Reigns tells Jey that people are going to go back to asking him where his cousin is. Jey admitted that he never thought about it and in that way. Reigns said he should be thinking of it that way. Decent enough segment, teasing dissension with the brothers. Shinsuke Nakamura with Chad Gable, what a waste of both guys. Rick Boggs plays Nakamura to the ring. Nakamura comes out wearing Corbin's crown. They recap the stealing of the crown. Anyway, Otis jumps Nakamura before the match. Gable has an advantage, but Nakamura fights back. Gable attacks the arm, sends him into the buckle. Nakamura jumps to his feet and hits a Kinshasa for the win. Post-match, Boggs jumps Corbin from behind, and Kevin Owens can barely breathe in the trainer's room, wants a rematch with Apollo Crews. Pierce agrees to the match for next week, bans Aziz from ringside. They show Mysterio getting ready for his match in the back. Back from commercial break, Ray is down on the ground. He's injured. He couldn't get up to his feet. Ziggler said they didn't attack Ray because they want to challenge the champions. Rude pointed out if the champions can't compete, Ray and Dominic forfeit the titles. Rude notes that Dominic wouldn't fight by himself. And I'm going to grab my phone, so we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to finish this awful show. Anyway, Dominic complains about what's happened a week ago and all of that. It's kind of goofy in the sense that the baby faces are looking weak, and you build up to the win for Mysterio and all that. Anyway, in the back, Dominic said Ray fought for him a week ago, so he's going to fight alone. Dominic went to the ring to compete in a match with no partner. Anyway, so this is your main event. Not a bad match. Distraction finish and a slow pace in the beginning. Michael Cole and McCaffrey wondered if Ziggler and Rude jumped Ray in the back. They admitted could have been someone else, and Dominic goes after the heels before the bell. Ziggler recovers with a super kick and takes over. Heels slow the pace down. Dominic fights back briefly. Rude nails him with a back elbow. Rude misses a knee drop. Dominic crawls to his corner. Nobody to tag, obviously. Ziggler jumps Dominic, drags him over the ropes, and follows up with a neck breaker for near fall. And Dominic hits a plancha, wiping out both of his opponents, jumps off the top rope, and Ziggler avoids it when they're back in the ring. Dominic goes for 619. Rude grabs his legs. Dominic knocks Rude off and hits the 619 again. Ziggler avoids it a second time and hits his famous for near fall. Rude and Ziggler hit the neckbreaker powerbomb combo for near fall. Rude goes after Dominic, and Ray, his music hits. He walks to the ring. Ziggler's distracted. Dominic takes advantage, rolls up Rude for the win. After the match, Usos walk to the ring, face off with the Mysterios. Roman Reigns watches from the back and seems disappointed, and we fade to black. Next week's show, Apollo Crews defends against Kevin Owens with Aziz barred from ringside, and Ray and Dominic Mysterio against the Usos. Those matches were built well. I don't know that that's where you want to go right before the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but it is what it is. We'll be back with more right after this.